evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partner in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith, and our missing partner, Mr. Ryan Roberts, who his parole officer just showed up. He had to go talk to them. He might jump on here in a minute.
Yeah, he might be here in a minute. They're just checking in on things.
But he's got to do the P test and everything. It's Ryan.
Yeah, documentation's got to be all compliant and all that. That's shit. Right. So they just happened to show it right before we went on air. So you know how it goes.
But anyway, how you doing tonight, Blake?
I'm doing pretty freaking good. Man, what an adventure we had over the weekend at Old Park Hotel. I mean, holy
absolutely.
Shit. Like we delved far into that one on a pre-broadcast for Patreon. So y'all will we showed all kinds of evidence over there. So y'all will be in luck tomorrow morning whenever y'all get to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of reeling from it, honestly. Like the paranormal hangover was real.
The paranormal hangover is weekend. Real today. So if I've loved my words, please forgive me. And I think that our guest definitely will, because our guest is a lot of fun. We met this gentleman at the Kansas City Paracon with the mysterious Mike and Sam of Epic VIP. See, already I'm doing it. Epic VIP Events LLC. Josh was one of the speakers there, and we had so much fun meeting him. We enjoyed his talk so much, and we decided we had to get him on with us. So let me introduce to you our guest tonight. His name is Josh Hurd, and he is the owner of Malvern Manor in Malvern, Iowa. He is a paranormal investigator, an author, an award-winning filmmaker, and owns Josh Hurd Productions. And he's going to come on tonight and tell us some of his stories about Malvern Manor, which is a place that is on our list. So, hey, Josh, I got a question for you.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fine. When is the next booking at Malvern open?
I would book 2029 if I could. I don't ever stop. I don't ever
All
stop.
right.
Yeah. So in other words, you name it, Shelley, we got it.
Exactly, yes. Like as long as it's open on the calendar, it's yours. So yeah.
So Josh, I'm so glad you agreed to come on tonight. I have got to know a little bit more about Malvern Manor.
Malvern is nuts. Like, honestly, it's a crazy building. As I sit here, I always have to feel like I watch my mouth because they're probably always listening, but still like it's an interesting place. Like, it was built in 1869, fourth structure built in town. Like, it wasn't even called Malvern back then. It was called Milton. But apparently there was another Milton, Iowa, and so they had to switch it. I don't know, but its primary function was just a hotel, and mainly it was servicing the railroad, which was right out the front door. So I mean, people coming and going all the time. It was quite literally the pinnacle of the area back then, and it was very multi-purpose also. So I mean, like, there was a doctor's office on site. There was a restaurant on site. Every Sunday evening, they would do Sunday night dinners for every member of the community as well. Weddings have been held here. Funerals were held here. I mean, it was just, again, very multi-purpose. It ran like that until the 1950s. And at that time, kind of takes an odd turn and becomes what we would consider to be like a nursing home type setting. The nursing home only lasted until the 70s. The state of Iowa shut them down because the hallways aren't wide enough to support transporting properly.
Yeah.
And so this is then where it became the group home. Now, the group home is interesting because it was servicing any form of what they considered to be a mental disorder back then, which is vastly different than our conception of a mental disorder today. So it's things that we see like all the time, every day, honestly, guys. Like, people with Down syndrome, people with autism, people with drug and alcohol abuse. I mean, very common type things, that
women who had PMS and their husbands were tired of them, so they were hysterical.
That was a thing. That was a thing. Absolutely. But then, of course, I mean, you had more exotic cases as well. You had people with, DID, what they used to refer to as multiple personalities, schizophrenics. I mean, even murderers were housed here. It is a very eclectic group of people coexisting under the same roof. And it ran like that until 2005. So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. And the building was still in full swing. Now, obviously, I'm biased as hell, right? But the coolest thing about this place is that everything that you see in Malvern Manor is exactly the way it was when we first walked into the building. So, in my opinion, it adds a little bit more to the integrity of the place from an investigative standpoint. It's very important to me that you guys experience it the same way I did when I first walked into the building. So it's steeped in history. That is for sure.
I guess I didn't realize that it ran for that long.
I
Like up to
didn't
that
either.
recently. I was thinking
Yeah.
way before that, not
Exactly.
2005.
Yeah. It's in pretty rough shape for something that just closed 20 years ago.
20
You know what I
years,
mean?
yeah.
Really. So
Yeah.
So did you leave a lot of the building intact because you found that some of the spirits were attached to certain things in the building or certain rooms in the building? Did you get more activity if you just left things alone?
Yeah. So my biggest thing was that I'm like, well, let's just not touch anything. Let's figure out what's really truly going on here, right? Um, one of the first things that I did was I invited the former nursing staff back here. There's Ryan.
There's
Hello.
Ryan.
What's up?
Unexpected house guest. Sorry.
Yeah, everything worked out with your parole officer, right, Ryan? It's all
Oh
good?
yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
got a few
all
more
right.
months. We're all good.
All right, cool, good. Just making sure, man.
That's good. Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. But I invited the former nursing staff back here just to walk me down memory lane, right? Just to tell me some of the stories, what the day-to-day life was like here, and all of that stuff. Like I feel that adds a little bit more to it as well. But man, some of the stories they had to tell were just fascinating, honestly. But yeah,
Did they experience any hauntings when they worked there?
some of them did, and some of them did not. Like, and you can already tell when they're walking in the door, like kind of where they land on that paranormal spectrum anyway.
Mhm.
Because some of them think that I'm just caca duty shit crazy, right? Which is fine, like to each their own. But other people are like, it's so interesting to me, all the people that I meet, especially around town, that are like, I don't really believe in that stuff. But this one time, right?
This
Like
one time
everybody,
this
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
happened,
everybody.
right?
and if it didn't happen to them, it happened to somebody that they love and know and trust or what have you. So everybody has a story, and that's what's really cool about the paranormal in and of itself, right? But yeah, so it was interesting. Like some of the nursing staff, like it's really just very black and white. Either,
Mhm.
oh my God, this was the best job I ever had, and you can tell like it really holds a special place in their heart, and it was
Right.
rewarding to them. The other half was like, oh my God, this was the worst job I ever had. And
Wow.
there really is no in between. So that was interesting to kind of to see that dichotomy between the two. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was pretty neat.
So who are your resident spirits there? Because you were telling a couple of stories at
Yeah.
the Kansas City Paracon. Yeah, tell us about some of your residents.
Like one of my favorites is Gracie.
Mhm.
Gracie Gracie was certainly one of the more exotic type of patients here. Okay. So Gracie had DID, but she was also schizophrenic on top of all of that, like a very like chaotic mind state. But they would hear male voices coming from Gracie's room. Now, I mean, you can't have a guy in a girl's room, obviously. So
Right.
they'd have to go and check that out. But they would open the door and they would find it's just Gracie. Like she was able to shift and manipulate her voice to sound male, which is also medically fascinating because there are night and day differences between male and female vocal cords.
Yeah.
It's quite
Right.
interesting how she was able to fool all of these people, right? One evening in particular, 3 nurses sat with Gracie for just an hour. During this 1 hour, they documented 13 separate distinguishable personalities, which again,
Wow.
damn near medically unheard of. Like the wheelhouse is like 2 to 5. So she's certainly tipping the scales. But I mean, even somebody with DID to present 13 alternate personalities would take the majority of people weeks, in fact. And she did this in an hour. So again, like she's my built-in therapist, if I'm being honest. Like Gracie is just like my favorite. Like I will just go into Gracie's room and I will word vomit for an hour. I'm like, you're never gonna believe this shit. And I'll just let it rip. You know what I mean? But yeah, she is absolutely like one of my favorites. I mean, there's numerous stories. I swear to God, I could talk for days. But she's certainly on one of the top.
Well, if she had that many personalities, how do you know that it's Gracie that you're talking to when you go into her room?
That's a perfect example too. So, and it's fair, right? Because
Mhm.
there have been numerous times where I've been in Gracie's room and I've captured EVPs of what sounds like a little child. I've captured EVPs of something that sounds like a grumpy man, you know?
Right.
There was one evening, Johnny Hauser and myself were sitting here in Malvern Manor, and it was one of those weird delusional like 3 a.m. conversations where you're like, dude, bro, what if this, bro? You know, like that crap. But we had this thought and we're like, what if it's just Gracie that's haunting this place? Like, what if it's just her? If it's not exactly the most comforting thought to entertain,
right?
But somebody suffering from DID, what if those personalities transfer on with us? And you would hope and pray that that's not the case. Somebody suffering from DID would just finally be at peace.
The sickness would be gone. Right?
Yes, exactly. But what if, you know, like, what if it is just her? I have no idea. I mean, we certainly have a grumpy old man. We certainly have a couple little girls running around here as well. I mean, why not? I have no idea. Like, it's so fascinating to me, but why not? I don't know.
How does she let you know that it's her? What indication does she give you?
Okay. And this is where it gets a little gross. All right.
All right. Yay.
Yeah. So you can usually tell, like, when Gracie is around, because there is a very distinct smell of urine that usually is accompanied with her presence or whatever. And I mean, it's nasty. Sometimes, like, you can smell it all the way down the hall, and then in 10 minutes it's not there any longer. It's so weird to me how that works. But yeah, that's a really good indication of her being around.
Wow. And was she known to wet herself, like, from the nurses?
That I don't know. Like, I've read through a lot of documentation, and I don't recall ever seeing anything. It was like, oh yeah, she had a problem with incontinence or anything like that. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, interesting nonetheless.
So you said at one point that it was, it was a group home. A lot of places, whenever they pack up and leave, they leave a lot of the patient files behind, which we've seen at several locations we've been to. Did they leave you some?
There was a ton of documentation that was left behind, which was also helpful, like when the nursing staff came through, and I could kind of check and double check and all of that stuff, just to kind of validate certain things that they were saying, or even certain things that the spirits were telling us. Right. We did obviously find it best to take all of that sensitive documentation, and we removed it from the building. Now, obviously we still own it, but we have it under lock and key in some office space we have in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, I wanted it out of the state entirely. So it's like, yeah. So we still have it. It's just also something that I've read through a good majority of it. I also I don't want to step on toes. I don't want to piss anybody off. And I mean, some of that stuff is so sensitive that it's just like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm really trying to go about this in a professional and kind way, really, you know? But yeah.
But what a way to capture, like, such a time in history for not just the location, but for these people, these spirits as well. Because we know we're all about continuing their stories and trying to learn more about them. And the fact that you have this level of documentation on that to tell their story even more in depth is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. It also helps just with that. Like I said, it's like, okay, why are we getting the name Gracie? Like, who the hell is that? Why are we getting the name Hank? Who the hell was that? And on certain days he's calling himself Henry. What the hell is that? You know what I mean? It's very odd. But then here come the nurses, and they were able to help us with all of this stuff. They're like, yeah, because that's his room, or yeah, because that's Gracie's room. It's so crazy to me.
Man, that is so cool.
I want to say real quick that I think this is the first time that we're 15 minutes into an episode that I think we've had more comments on our guest's voice than
You do have a fabulous voice, Josh Hurd.
Hey, Listen,
Child.
shameless self-promotion, kids. Go to audible.com and type in my name, and there's at least like 7 or 8 different books there that you can listen to. You can fall asleep to
there you go, people.
Fall asleep to my pleasing baritone. How about that?
I am looking out for our viewers and
It's so
listeners.
funny.
You're welcome.
It's so funny. Like I go and I'll speak at like high schools and things like that, because it's an odd thing. Like,
Right.
I do work for like Audible, right? Kind of cool. But kids are like, well, how do you make your voice do that? And I'm like, it's just my voice. But at the same time, you also can't tell them whiskey and cigarettes are the way to go.
Yeah, right.
You can't
admit that though.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's got that Art Bell quality to it.
I think that you just gained about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 people are about to go over to Audible right about now.
Oh, that's funny.
After this podcast, so you're good.
Searching for the dulcet tones of Josh Hurd.
That's so funny. My God.
Child, I know I'm going after the show.
Oh, it's so funny.
All right, back to paranormal. Sorry,
It's just a really good microphone. That's all it is. It's a
That's
really
all
good
it is.
microphone.
Good microphone, whiskey, and cigarettes. Kids.
Right. Yes,
You got
exactly.
it.
Oh, Lord.
So you had said that there was also some of the criminally insane were there. Do you get any of them? And if so, are they aggressive whenever you deal with them?
So I will say this. Like, I mean, a lot of people come in here and like if something starts to like bang on a wall or tell them to fuck off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of times like people instantaneously, they're like, oh my God, it's a demon. It's a demon. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, guys, it's a demon. Right? And I'm like, I don't necessarily like to throw that word out because I totally believe the phenomenon exists. Of course it does. I just don't believe it exists as often as like maybe network television or Hollywood would have us believe, right?
For sure.
But there is certainly certain things that are here that don't necessarily wish us well. I will say that. I think they're just pissy for whatever reason that may be. They're just pissy. And I mean, I can relate to that. I get pissy every once in a while too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I don't know. There's certainly something going on here. Disembodied running. You'll hear disembodied screaming. And this is quite audible, like when this happens. And so you're here alone and it's 10,000 square feet of paranormal playground over here. And you hear a disembodied scream. It hits different. You know what I mean? And so yeah, immediately you're going to think this is something that is evil. This is something that is demonic or whatever. I mean, I always tell people that it's like when shit gets scary, if you can will yourself to just walk another step or two forward, right? Like that's when the good stuff happens.
That's right.
And that's really when you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're going to learn a lot about yourself. And your limits. We all have different limits when it comes to this stuff too. So
how do you go ahead, Blake?
I was just real quick. I think what I was gonna say earlier, sultry voice and the best Chip Coffee personator I think I've ever heard.
That was pretty good, right?
That was pretty good, man. Oh my God, it's a
oh my God, it's a
Anyways,
Chip is one of the best humans. Oh
that's why I say it the way that I say
funny.
it, because I know that he would.
Oh my God,
that too. So
has he come through a lot through Malvern?
Chip?
Yeah,
Chip has actually never been here. No, I've run into Chip a couple different times, like Paracons and things like that. We did a video podcast very similar to what you guys have here, and we interviewed him one evening as well. He's a great dude.
Okay, so how do you come to be in possession of Malvern Manor? Like, are you just roaming around one day and you see this building, you're like, I gotta have that?
More or less, it was a complete. I have completely stopped believing in coincidence. I will say that. So I was filming my very first documentary film, right? And we were slated I wanted to open the film with just a very broad stroke version of this is who we are, this is how we investigate, then get into the meat and potatoes of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually slated to be filming at this really cool place in Malvern, and it's called the Classic Cafe.
Mhm.
The Classic Cafe, they have their own slew of paranormal happenings. And they were kind enough to be like, you know what, bring your camera crew. Let's do this. Like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't shut down for the evening, which that was my fault. There's also a bar that's attached to the Classic Cafe, and it was a Friday night, and it apparently been a pretty rough week for a lot of people.
Oh, hell.
Again,
God.
my fault. But with the noise contamination, like, we couldn't properly investigate. I mean, there's no way we
Right.
could do that. So I went outside and I was smoking my angry cigarette because night one of filming is completely screwed, in my opinion. And there was this guy outside, and he was like, "What's with all the cameras?" And I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna think that I'm completely off my rocker. And so I just told him, I'm like, you know, we're looking for ghosts and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say.
There
think
is
we've
no
all said
smoothing.
that, yeah.
There
there's
is
no
no-
smoothing it over. You just
No.
have to, just bust through the wall.
He's either gonna
Right.
like it or he's not, and there is no
Exactly.
in between. And it's like, oh God, okay. So he was like, interesting. And I was like, yeah, pretty interesting. He's like, I don't really believe in that stuff. But right.
Mhm.
There's the but, right?
Yep. Always.
So he's like, I have this building and I own it or whatever. And he's like, he goes, there's weird things that happen in there all the time. I can't explain it away as to what could be causing any of this stuff. He was like, again, I don't really believe in this, but you're more than welcome to go take a look. He goes, places like 10,000 square feet. It used to be boom, boom, boom. And he's naming all this stuff off. And I was like, where is this place? He's like, dude, it's right across the street. And I'm like, pretty sure we just became best friends. Like, that's amazing, you know? Like, holy shit, dude. So he was kind enough to then let us in the building that night and saved night one of filming, really. But man, I fell in love with this building. I fell in love with the place, and I just wanted to keep learning more and more and more. Turns out, like I would call him just on random freaking nights or whatever, like, and I'd be like, can I get into the weird spooky house? And he's like, you know where the key is. And I would always run by his house, and I would always like flip him money, you know what I mean, just to say thank you, basically.
Yeah.
And it turned out he had to move away, like all of this stuff. He got another job. He was like, I'm selling everything. And I was like, just pump the brakes. Like, give me 3 weeks to figure some shit out. And then luckily we were able to like keep the building doing what it's doing now. And so, yeah, I mean, honest to God, it feels like it was like just a stupid coincidence, honestly. Right. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know if somehow magically I was meant to be here, or what. But it makes you wonder, I guess, sometimes it's weird.
I think the building was meant for you. Just what are the chances that on that night you're there doesn't going well, you're suddenly available to a person who owns the building across the street who's going to wind up selling it to you?
Yeah.
I think that building found you.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I hope that's the case anyway. So yeah, some days I wonder. but yeah.
Whether as the newest owner or the newest victim, we've still yet to figure out.
That's right.
That's fair. I swear to God.
So do you ever get uncomfortable being there alone? Because that's something that a lot of owners will tell us.
Oh my. So yeah. So just as an example, right? 10 days. We just wrapped up filming like 2 or 3 days ago. But we were doing this really cool new paranormal. We call it a TV show. It's not a TV show, but eventually you'll see it. But we had just wrapped up night one, and I was sleeping here because long ass days and very short nights. You know what I mean? So I'm sleeping on the couch here, just across from me in the studio, and I start hearing this boom, 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 boom. And it's coming from both of our front doors. And it was loud enough. It certainly woke me up, and it was terrifying. So I quick jump up and I'm like, okay, somebody's getting punched. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, you're ready to
somebody's
fight.
about to get fucking hit, right? But I was like, now hang on a second. I'm like, just listen, because I know this place like the back of my hand. Like, I know where they would be. I know exactly how to sneak up on them, right? You know, I'm feeling like a ghost. Like, this is great. And I hear nothing. So I'm like, well, shit. So I check the cameras, which were on my phone. No movement whatsoever. None. No movement, no anything to alarm a camera of anybody approaching the building or leaving the building or anything like that. So it was just one of those things where I didn't sleep. I slept 2.5 hours that night. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
That was a rough one. It was a rough one.
So you never figured out what it was, and did you go open
No.
up the door just to look?
Absolutely, I did, because I was like, something is happening here. You know what I mean? Now, it was also interesting because, and I kind of blame myself if I'm being honest, because, like, you know, and you want the good stuff to happen, right? So my dumbass, I take EM pumps because I got the shot list. I've got the shot list. I know where we're filming that day. So I take EM pumps and I pump the balls off of this thing for like 8 solid hours.
Oh, jeez.
Before like cast even arrives. You know what I'm saying? So like this place is hopping. Like it's ready to roll. So yeah, like I mean it was pretty damn interesting, but I think it was probably my fault, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, let's blame you.
I usually blame myself. It's fine. Damn it.
Cass just walks over and be like, there was a full-fledged cowboy that was just like, you need me to take lead on this? Or
Right,
do we know him?
right.
What cowboy? What?
Who's that guy? Yeah.
Who's that guy? I don't have him on the list here.
He's not supposed to be here, guys. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, like, just to tell you over, like, we did that we didn't. Kind of unbeknownst to us, the people who were on the investigation with us over the weekend put out EM pumps. And we really had no idea until we saw them, and all hell had pretty much already broken loose. And we were like, oh,
here we go.
That's why. Yeah.
That was my biggest thing is I use the EM pumps, obviously, but then I obviously always shut them off before Cass would even arrive because I don't want them to know what I'm doing to them. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole point of this was to scare the absolute shit out of them, which we did a pretty fair job, I will say. The ghosts of Malvern showed up, that is for sure.
So do you go walk through and tell your spirits that, hey, we got people coming.
Yep.
I need you to show off.
Yep.
Good for you.
Here's some free food.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, guys, listen. I'm like, there's like 3 people showing up to investigate. I'm like, one of them is just whiny and just won't stop and just a complete thorn in my side the entire time, the entire shoot. Light her up. You know what I mean? She ended up quitting the show, but yeah.
Oh, no. Hey, mission accomplished.
There it is. Just light her up.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
Get her.
Oh God, that's freaking hilarious.
That's so mean, but I'm so here for it.
Listen, if you've ever been on one of our public investigations, we do the same thing for y'all. So
it's F around and find out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. You're gonna come in there and big boy it all day long, but you better have your big boy panties on and not go running out of there.
Exactly. It's like, don't do this.
You don't want to go toe to toe with these.
You don't want to do it. No. That's why I try to say just nice things all the time.
Yeah. Make sure they listen.
You listen all the time.
So you obviously get the knocks and the taps, and so tell me what else you get there. Do you get like shadows, disembodied voices? You obviously heard the audible screams.
Yeah. There's one phenomenon that we have that we just call the shadow man phenomenon. And it's interesting because it's a very tall black humanoid figure that will come out of a room, and then it'll turn and then run directly at you. But the caveat is it's traveling the distance of about 60 feet in less than a second. It is moving that fast.
Holy shit.
Right.
Yay!
So this is also what sends the majority of people out the door, right?
Not me.
Myself included. No,
Yeah, right.
I'm not. Yeah. Listen, I wish I was kidding when I say I don't even vacuum back there. I don't. I don't like it. But I will also say this. Hundreds of people have experienced this for themselves. Not a single one of them has ever been hit or scratched or anything negative really associated with that. Other than them running out of here in their freshly beshitted pants, but still, it's interesting because to me that would signify maybe something that's just residual, right? It's coming right at you, and it's so fast. But why isn't there anything physical associated with that? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm like, well, again, maybe something residual. The day after Paranormal Lockdown aired on TLC, we had a nurse that used to work here. She got a hold of me and she said, the gentleman that occupied that room was 6'7", nonverbal, mentally deranged, supposedly had even killed a few people in the past. But his little claim to fame was that whenever they were doing, call it what you will, bed checks, rounds, what have you, he would come out of the room and he would chase the nursing staff. Now, interesting because we're seeing very similar behaviors, right? So again, maybe suggesting something that is residual. The problem is that there isn't an antecedent to that. So a time of day, a weather pattern, a fucking moon phase, nothing is correlating, right? Yeah. It's just seemingly happening whenever it wants to. So I'm like, well, it's either residual or it's so damn intelligent that it's 5 steps ahead of us. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly something. But we haven't gotten to the bottom of that yet.
Have you tried to invoke him or provoke him to come out by maybe having someone walk down the hall in a nurse's uniform or push a wheelchair down the hall or a cart to see if you can get him to show himself?
I feel like the most dick story is about to come out of Josh.
You just jogged my memory. You jogged my memory. And it made me remember this time. So yes, but long story long, right? Dressing up in we have different things over here that are like those gowns that are
hospital gowns?
That are open in the back, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we have those. Sometimes people absolutely will do kind of like this weird cosplay type thing where they will walk up and down the halls. They've put candy in little dishes that simulate pills. And so they're knocking on doors and they're saying hey, it's time for meds, or I've set up chairs and I'm like, hey, it's time for group, or hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. There was one evening that I put my buddy Johnny Hauser in one of those assless gowns, put him in a wheelchair, and then I tied him to the wheelchair. Both everything, his arms, his legs, everything. I wheeled him down there and I left him for 4 solid hours.
Oh yeah, that's a dick move. He couldn't escape.
Yeah, he was screwed. There was no way he could even wheel the damn thing away. You know what I'm saying? He was completely screwed. Are you guys taking notes?
We've done something similar to Ryan, except Ryan could leave if he wanted to. That was the only thing.
Okay.
We dropped him off at the nursing home in
Indiana State Sanatorium.
We were, by yourself. We were by it. Right before he walks in the door, he goes to go in the door, and Shelly just screams out, "Go get him!" And we just pill out. Yeah, that's exactly how we did.
I had a few choice words before they get going off the road. So.
Just sit there, shake your head, sons of bitches.
So what happened? You left him there for 4 hours. What happened to him?
Yeah, a lot of he said it was just a lot of knocks and bangs and stuff. And then he really started to play into it because I think he was ultimately fairly pissed at me. But it's all in the name of science, damn it. So it's
right.
So he was saying things like, come on, help me out of here. Let's get out of here. We can go. We can go across the street. We could hop the train. We could do this. We could do that, whatever. But that's when it seemed to really elicit the most response, was when he started to get angry, because now he's in the same position that they were. I'm screwed. I have nowhere to go. which I thought was also the most interesting. See, there's always a method to my madness, damn it.
Right.
Like always. But yeah, it was
Now
interesting.
that is something that we have done when we've been at places. We were at gosh, I can't even remember. It's you can't get into the old tuberculosis hospital in Arkansas.
Arkansas,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We took basically I had a box of Tic Tacs and I walked every door and was like, "Who needs
Yeah.
meds? Tell me
Yes.
They start calling out room numbers on the
Yes.
spirit box of who
Yeah.
needs their meds,
Isn't that interesting?
and we play along with it, and we get some really good results when we do that and make ourselves human trigger objects. And since you have some gowns, do
Yeah.
people? I mean, do a lot of people want to be human trigger objects? I can see how they wouldn't, but
I mean, there's a lot of people that will try anything, really. It's really cool too, because we have a lot of people that are in the medical community or whatever, and so it's like they're kind of used to an atmosphere like that or whatever, and so they'll just go right into work mode,
Right.
and they'll start using the lingo and the terminology and all that stuff. And I'm not smart enough for that stuff, but yeah. It's crazy though, because it does seem to elicit more of a response from the resident spirits for sure.
So do you think that this great big tall man that's at the end of the hall that runs up to people at an alarming rate of speed,
Right.
do you think he might just be being protective, kind of like, get off my lawn, I don't want any meds, you're not going to stick me with a needle, you're not going to make me go to bed. Maybe
That
he's
could be.
taking some control that he didn't have in life.
Possibly. And I'll
Nah,
tell you,
see,
so
I get that he's just having fun. Like,
Okay.
Could be,
fuck
yeah.
with these
and I could,
assholes.
so here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. So like, and I could go with either one of those too. So I'll tell you another story, right? With him specifically, he would chase these the nursing staff. He would chase them all the way to the kitchen, which is like half a house away. It's quite a distance.
Yeah.
He would never enter the kitchen. He would stop himself at the doorframe. He would turn and go about his business. Okay. If I were actively trying to hurt someone in a situation like that, what better place than a kitchen?
Right.
Absolutely.
Like I could get very creative in a kitchen, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Sure could.
he never hurt anybody while he was here.
Mm.
So more to Blake's point, right? Like maybe he was just trying to get a rise out of people. Maybe he's still trying to do that. But then more to Shelley's point, like he did not live an easy life. I mean, especially being nonverbal. I think they knew what was best for him and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. Right. It's like, I mean, it's interesting to me too, because I kind of have a soft spot for this man, whoever he may be. I know his name is Johnny. But I kind of have a soft spot for him because one night he walked out the front door, just left. He just walked right out the front door. He was, just being as tall as he was and kind of hulking and all this stuff. Like he was scaring people in town. And I don't think he was doing it purposefully or anything like that. But the nursing staff was trying to get him to come back in. He was not compliant. And so protocol says you have to call the police, which they did. The police came and they arrested him, if for lack of a better term. They did not bring him back here, however. They took him to another locked facility in Omaha, Nebraska, where 48 hours after the fact, this man expired. It makes no sense to me because he was otherwise in perfect health. He was only in his 50s. Like he's certainly too young to be checking out. You know what I mean? And again, there's very odd suspect things that just don't sit well with me in regards to that story.
You say arrested. Maybe the correct word it would be that they contained him with sedatives or something like that.
Possibly. And that's what that's what I kind of go to is was he sedated? Was he heavily sedated? Did he have a reaction to a sedative? There is a laundry list of things that could have gone wrong in a situation like that, especially when you're just trying to get him to stop. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Did they have to use force? Nobody knows. They could have hit him in the head and sedated
well, I
him
mean,
and-
come on, let's not beat around the bush. We know what it was like for mental health individuals way back when they would have used force and they would have sedated him. Let's be honest about it.
Because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And
they would have used both.
Is they were um there's no other way to say it. They were treated as if they were like second or third class citizens.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because again, like today, like we sit here in 2025 and we're like 75% of those people would never be in this place right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Never.
Listen,
They would
I mean,
be in society.
my
Right.
grandfather had epilepsy in the 30s and 40s, and they kicked him out of school and treated him like shit for it.
Yep.
So
exactly.
we're not going to beat around the bush and
Right.
say that, oh, no, they just put him in the cop car and sent him somewhere. No, they probably used force and they probably sedated him, which probably led to complications.
And he
48 hours,
couldn't tell
he
them that
is
something was
expired.
wrong because he was nonverbal.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
He could not stand up for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing he knew is like he probably, if I'm being honest, probably couldn't process emotions the way we do.
Right.
Right.
Let alone verbalize anything. So he's just acting upon things as he saw fit. Again, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Like
So-
the whole story is like very Frankenstein-esque. Like
Yes,
really,
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of too. I'm like
Yeah.
the Frankenstein and the little girl and all of that. Yeah. It's crazy though.
It is, man. I can't believe that. So we talk about like a lot of like the scary, the dark, the gloom and doom, but they were people and they still are people, and that people do have a humorous side. What's the funniest interaction you've ever had with one of your residents?
Oh man. So I honestly think that they mess with me more often than not. Like I think they, as much as I know them, I think they know me. They're pretty comfortable with me or whatever. So I think they know exactly what's going to make me jump or scream or just let out a barrage of curse words, right? And there was one time, okay, I'm going to let you into my brain a little bit, all right?
All right.
And I swear to God, I hardly ever tell this story, but
Oh, shit.
You're
it's
among
so bad.
friends.
It's so bad. So I'm one of these weirdos that if I have to use the restroom while we're open for business, I'm going to shut the doors and I'm going to lock the doors. And then I'm going to go into the bathroom. I'm going to do my business because I don't want to have a weird interaction with somebody as I'm walking out of the bathroom. They're walking in or anything like that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I had locked the doors. I went into the restroom and I was doing my thing. And then my phone rang. And I was like, oh God. I'm like, it's a number obviously I don't recognize. It's somebody outside wanting a tour. I guarantee it. So now I have to allude to the fact that I'm not sitting on the pot, right? Which really sucks because now I have to answer the phone all nice. And I'm like, hello, just whatever. It's just a regular day. I'm not taking a shit, whatever. But so it's like, all I hear is breathing on the other end, right? All I just hear this like this type breathing. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay. So I say, hello. And I say it 3 times. And then this really weird girl voice just says, goodbye. And then the phone, like the call dropped, like it's done. So me, I'm like, okay, somebody's messing with me. Whatever. I take the phone and I place it on the sink. And right as I set it down, I say, what the f- was that about? Right.
Right.
The second I put the phone down, the lights went out. And I was like,
The fuck?
it was a good thing I was already sitting down. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what I'm saying. Just
No.
right into
What
the
was
bowl.
really weird is that I noticed, I'm like, oh shit, we popped a breaker, right? That's my brain. We popped a breaker. But I can also see that there's light underneath the door. So I'm like, this is very localized. Like, no, we did not pop a breaker.
Right.
The lights came back on. It was like the worst 7 seconds of my entire life. And then I cleaned myself up and got the hell outside. I start chain smoking because that's my defense mechanism, right? And then I get all big and bad. You know how you get, where you're like, you're scared shitless. And then you're like, fuck that, man. I'm going to call that number back. I'm going to call that number back, man. I'm like talking to myself, right? Because nobody else is around, but whatever.
Well, you got to go from one extreme to the other, from just straight up, just from straight up pussy in the jaw to alpha dude. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not vulnerable
Good,
anymore. Now you're going to blow up. Right.
Now I'm outside. Now I've got a cigarette in my hand.
Now you got your pants up. Yeah.
You're alpha man now. Yeah.
Bowing up after bowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I called the number back and it gave me that little beep, beep, beep. This number is no longer is disconnected or no longer in service, I believe was what it said. But yeah, I gave up at that point. So I just like turned it off. I'm like, give me a break. Like, it was so stupid. But I think they were just pissing their pants when it came to this, because they're watching me just run around all frantic, and I probably did exactly what they were expecting. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, they'll try to use like the lingo that we use. Now, I'm a product of like the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So I use a lot of 90s lingo, which drive my kids absolutely crazy, which is great. But like, I always say peace or peace out, you know what I mean? Like, I always say peace. And I was signing off of a video one time, and right as I said peace, video stops. Spirit box is still going. It goes, peace out. I was like, what? I'm like, that's amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. So I'm like, they're getting wise. They're getting wise to the lingo.
That's so awesome.
Oh my God, it was crazy. Just crazy. I'm talking all this smack, and I know something's going to happen tonight.
I'm waiting for it to. I'm waiting for him to shut off your lights or throw something. My focus has been on your background the whole time. I'm going, something's about to happen.
Well, it's just because you told that story. Now they're going to wait till you're in the bathroom or something like that. You know,
promise.
They'd be like, you know, they're sitting over in the corner like, remember that time we called his phone and we were just like,
like, we need to do that again. We got to do that again.
But this is where you fucked up, Josh, because you got to lay the rule, right? You got to lay the rule down. Like, I have a rule at my house. You don't fuck with me in the bathroom. You don't fuck with me in the bedroom or in the bed, because I'm usually naked in both places and very vulnerable. Don't fucking do it.
That's what's up. Like, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Wait a minute. That just made me think of a question. Josh, do they mess with you more whenever you are in certain states of undress?
Not really.
I just had to ask.
No, like, I will say, like, if I'm like, you know, if I'm taking like a shower or something here, you know what I mean? Like, then you'll hear like running up and down the you know, that'll mess you up.
Oh yeah.
Like, I always say, like, I kind of joke. I'm like, well, when you're taking a shower here, it's like the name of the game is efficiency. Like, just get your shit done.
Watch the important parts and get out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? The same sentence can be said when you're using the bathroom. Just get your shit done. Get the fuck.
I'm really kicking around installing a bidet, because I figured that might just speed the process up a little bit more too.
You might just start getting shot with the water when you least expect it.
Well, it's like the last thing that you need to see, you know, the next morning after you've taken a shower there is like Malvern streaker apprehended, you know, just because you know it's going to happen. Like, you're just fucking butt ass naked right now in the street. Fuck this place.
The cops would be like, oh, Jesus, it's Josh again.
Exactly.
Not again. Like, something's wrong with that guy. Like, I'm not trying to be a perv, I swear to God.
It's scary in there. Speaking of that, do you have you probably obviously have some sort of relationship with the local law enforcement, being that you own a haunted venue, and I'm sure some people get the idea that it's okay to come in without your permission. And so do you have cops that actually have called you or had to go in when there's nothing going on at the door?
So that there's been a couple kids that have tried to get in here, right? And it's things like that, but it's like, I've always caught them. And then they get all pissy and big and all that. They're like, well, you could call cops. And I'm like, no, I'm going to call your dad, because he can kick your ass and the cops can't, you know? So I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with that. No. But it's, you know, what's fascinating too, is like that same night that I told you guys about with the banging on the doors, right? So what I didn't tell you is at 3:00 in the morning, okay, 3 a.m., I get a phone call from Tori Westhoff from Sleeper Mortuary. She's like, I need you to talk me off the ledge here. I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, well, I just got a phone call from the police. The doors of Sleeper Mortuary are wide open. There's at least 5 or 6 lights that are on and all of this stuff. They're asking, should we sweep the building? So, of course, she told them, yes, please do that. Nobody was supposed to be in the building that evening. The cops obviously go through. They shut off lights. Of course, they check every nook and cranny. Nothing is out of place. Nothing was taken, more importantly. But nobody was there.
Yeah.
And so they came through. They shut the doors, of course. They locked up everything and then called her and said, everything's fine. That was at 3:00 in the morning. I got off the phone with Tori then after she was feeling better about the situation.
Right.
I then drift off to sleep. 4:35 a.m. is when the banging happened at this place right over here.
They came to see you.
What's interesting is that project that I was telling you about, Tori was also helping with that project as well. She was on set for that project as well. So, but she was just coming the next day. So she was basically on her way to me while all of that was going on. It was very bizarre and very almost coincidental, I would say. But something was up.
How long does it take to get from Sleeper Mortuary to Malvern Manor?
In my world, 4.5 hours.
Okay.
In their world, a matter of seconds. Probably.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Brian, I think you and I were interestingly on the same
mhm.
thought
Yeah,
process.
the
I
amount of
literally,
time between the
yeah,
two
yeah,
incidents,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I literally just put up
Yeah.
directions, Sleeper
Yeah.
Mortuary to Malvern Manor. It's 4 hours and 9 minutes.
Oh, so right at
Okay.
4 hours, basically.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, you
Hmm.
think about that. Like, we did an experiment one time. This was for one of the films that I did, where I'm such a dick. Anyway, I put Johnny Hauser in the attic of Malvern Manor.
Poor Johnny.
Right.
Please tell me
He's
in an
fine.
assless hospital gown tied to a wheelchair again.
Don't feel bad for him. Listen, he's gotten me back plenty. Trust. So I put him in the attic of Malvern Manor. Now, the experiment was that I was going to be sitting in the Sally house in Atchison, Kansas, right?
okay.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, and I was sitting at the table. And at a very specific time, all I'm to do is ask a battery of questions or give a thing of just instructions, right?
Mhm.
And I'm supposed to just do this out loud while trying to elicit a response with Johnny. Now, Johnny has no idea when I'm asking the questions other than it's in this hour block that he's going to be sitting in the attic. So we ask, could you just tug on the shirt of Johnny Hauser, who is sitting in the attic of Malvern Manor? Not even 3 seconds transpire, and Johnny jumps up out of his seat like, what the frick was that? Now, there was no communication whatsoever between the two teams, and that was very much by design. Like, I didn't want anybody to be able to communicate. It's just, this happens at this time, this happens at this time, and then we're stopped. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. So, yeah, it was interesting because it was just a matter of seconds.
Wow.
And it happened. So I'm like, it's very obvious to me that like time and space mean completely nothing to them.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and that kind of leads into my next question because your buddy Johnny Hauser, he was the caretaker at Villisca, and you
Yes.
guys have a very intimate relationship with Villisca Axe Murder House and Malvern Manor. Have you ever gone to one or the other and felt the same presence in the same place?
We have gotten numerous things that would suggest the other place. Like when we're there, things that would suggest Malvern, and when we're here, things that would suggest Villisca. So it's interesting in that regard. We can only speculate that there is some form of a tie. I mean, I still have the old plat maps that are back here that show the exact railroad that went right through town and right into Villisca. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sadly, we'll probably never definitively know like what truly was going on with that. But yeah.
So do you think that they followed you? Because my next question becomes at home, at your home, not at Malvern, do you
Right.
ever get any of that interaction at your house?
Not really.
No.
And so I get that question sometimes, and I'm like, when I really stop and think about it, I'm like, not really. And then I'm like, but why don't I? Like that's interesting, right? Because I mean, people have things follow them all the time, in fact. So why would I be an exception? And then I think about it. And I'm like, what do I do when I show up? Hey, good morning, kids. How's it going? I'm walking through the building. I'm making sure everything is, in place where it's supposed to be. But I'm talking to them. And I'm telling them, good morning. This is what I'm up to today. Hope you're having a great day, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm always saying, hey, I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you in a couple days. I got to go do this, but I'll be back. I'll see you guys soon. So there's always a very definitive beginning and end to my day in the manor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe that's it. Either that or they're just so goddamn sick of me that they're like, oh yeah, that fucking guy, he's
They're
coming
like,
back.
that dude's
He's
finally
coming
leaving.
back.
Thank God.
He's coming back. You know,
That's
like,
nice.
Jesus. So yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's just that one sitting over on a porch smoking a cigarette, like this fucking asshole.
Never.
God damn it.
Never fucking stops.
I think that's very interesting because whenever I go into locations, I do the same thing. I always walk in and I say, hello, hello,
Yeah.
Malvern, hello, Old Park, hello, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I leave, I'm like, bye, to the building.
Yeah.
And they don't, I've been followed, but I don't usually get followed.
And that makes sense. I mean, honestly, I think maybe if there is that definitive beginning and end, maybe that's kind of why that would happen then. Maybe. Yeah. It's pretty cool though. So
what has been your favorite experiment that you have done other than the Sally House and Malvern experiment?
That was a good one. I really enjoy any type of sensory deprivation. Like
too.
any type of sensory depth that you can do for whatever reason, it hits different, but it's almost as if like you always hear like, oh, well, somebody who may be blind or has lost their vision or something like that seem to get heightened senses in other ways. Like their hearing is on point or even their touch is on point. So it's always fascinated me that if we can take one or two things away, then we should be able to hyper focus on the other. And see what we can get as far as results. But I love sensory deprivation type stuff for sure. So
do you have an ability, Josh, excuse me.
No.
I've been thinking about Johnny. Sorry.
I don't. I don't have. I always make the joke that I'm about as psychic as a rock in the driveway. And that's why I use all of these gadgets and gizmos and geekometers, right? I've had numerous friends. I mean, like Tori, for an example. I mean, she's like, I think you're more sensitive than you truly believe. And I'm like, well, that may be true, but I'm not going to try to foster that in any way, shape, or form. Like that would probably scare me absolutely out of my mind.
Oh, come on, man. It's so fun when you just walk past your doorway out of fucking nowhere. It's like, great. It's a thrill.
Let me tell you.
Great.
Yeah, you're sitting there and all of a sudden you just hear Josh out of nowhere. And you're like,
that's what, like one thing, like I had my brother work for me one day and he walked in the back door and like just got through the kitchen and heard this like sing-songy female voice just go, Josh. And he just goes, nope. And just walked right out the door. He immediately calls me and he was like, I don't think I can do this. I am like 5 states away. You have no choice. You have to do this. You know what I mean? Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, it is so weird. But yeah.
Wow. Like it's up to you. If not, it's Johnny Hauser. And the last time I put him in an assless hospital gown, he won't do anything for me anymore.
Yeah, that's the image that was stuck in my brain. I was going. And if you don't know Johnny Hauser's a big dude. What is he, 6'5"?
Oh no.
No, he's not that tall.
He ain't that tall.
No, he's like, I mean, he's probably like 5'11". 5'10".
No, I'm 5'2".
He's not much taller than me. Yeah, he's much taller than me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm 5'2". Everybody seems like they're huge to me.
Yeah.
So I was thinking he was really tall. He's a very imposing presence.
He can be.
He's got a big voice, and
you just got to tickle him a little bit. Tickle him under his
Is that what works? You know what? Next time I see him, I'm going to say, Josh said to tickle you.
You know what's so funny is we used to do this when he was running the show over at Villisca. We would send tours back and forth all the time, right? And we always knew when the other person was coming from like Villisca or coming from Malvern, because I'd be like, hey, if you're going over to Malvern, like make sure, or if you're going over to Villisca, make sure you smack Johnny on the butt for me. You know, like, just be like, Josh says hi. You know what I mean? Just give him a smack. So many people did this. Like it was disturbing how many times like he would get his ass slapped or I would get my ass slapped. Like it was so bad. Like it got really nasty there for a bit. we'd send like dolls, like really nasty, creepy, haunted dolls back and forth to one another as well. And I'd be like, hey, you need to put her in like the weirdest spot possible. Like put her on the toilet. You know what I mean? Like just weird shit. So yeah. We had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, so you were trying to scare the hell out of each other by just okay.
Absolutely. It's all in good fun. You know what I mean? You got to keep each other on our toes. Yeah.
You got to fuck with your friends. I mean,
yes, exactly. Exactly.
We have one poor investigator on our team. She's our sometimes investigator. She goes with us sometimes she doesn't. And we keep threatening her, sending her down, into a basement by herself and I'll lock her in. And she, she'll do that whole thing. She'll stop. And she's like, the fuck you are. We're like, hey, initiation, baby. We got to make it happen. Like,
oh my God.
Trial by fire over here. Here you go. So just be glad we're not tying you to wheelchairs, okay? Damn.
Exactly. Yeah. Things could always be worse. Oh my God.
Always.
Well, gentlemen, we are right at our time. Do you have any final questions for Josh that we want to ask him here?
Well, I don't
say burning questions because that sounds gross.
It would fit the theme for tonight.
No,
I don't think I do. I think it's been great having you on. It's been fun.
Oh, guys, I appreciate the
whole lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Wish we could have gotten a little bit more into your books and all the filmmaking stuff, but you know what? Part 2.
Whenever,
two.
Whenever, guys. Whenever.
Hey, Josh, why don't you tell them where they can find you and how they can contact you so they can get out there and come and visit Malvern Manor?
Oh, sure. Like, just joshhurd.net is kind of a one-stop shop for everything, really. Like the books, the films, all the crap is just right there. And then, of course, if you went to malvernmanoria.com, you can also check out the manor. And there's an interactive calendar right there as well that'll show you all the available dates, and it just emails me directly. So we'll get you on the calendar, and we'll get you off and getting the shit scared out of you. That'll be great.
Hot dog.
Literally.
Well, and with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know about us?
All right. Well, hang tight with us, Josh. We got a few announcements, and then we'll get some wrapped up for you. All right. Please. Well, if you want to support the show directly, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/EVP podcast. For just $5 a month, you're going to unlock over 400 Patreon exclusive videos, including the pre and post broadcasts, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast. So you get an additional hour with us each week. Your support from this goes directly to the show and towards the adventures we bring you week after week. If you are not sure about joining Patreon, try it risk-free for a 7-day free trial. Make sure you stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and many more by searching Everything Vaguely Paranormal, looking for that green sound wave. Remember, you can catch us live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to meet us in person, you do have a couple of choices. October 18th, we'll be partnering with the Gregg County Historical Museum in Longview, Texas to lead their annual haunted walk downtown. And afterwards, we'll be leading an investigation on the inside of the Gregg County Historical Museum, and tickets for that are currently on sale. October 29th through the 1st, we will be at Lorefest 2025 at Texas A&M, where we will be doing a whole slew of things. We'll get you more information on that, from ghost hunts, classes, and including a spot as their keynote speaker for that symposium. So more information in the coming days on that. November 22nd, we'll be at the KMFA Austin Studio Austin Studio in Austin, Texas for the Strange and Extraordinary Fest 2025, along with Theories of Third Kind podcast, Indie Pair House, Night Out podcast, Brandon Hodge, and of course our good friends Damien Shalacy and Nicole Ricardo with the Parapeculiar Museum of Haunted Items. And to make sure you subscribe to our Eventbrite page when those public investigation tickets go on sale. Make all of this easier. We've added all this to our link tree, which will be posted to our Facebook and X profiles on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. We are grateful for your continued support. Every like, comment, share, and download keeps the adventures alive. So if you have a favorite episode, share it with your friends. If you have a story, comment, or question, or you'd like to be guests on the show or have us as guests on your show, email us at theevppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel and give us that thumbs up if you liked having Josh Hurd on tonight. So, Josh, we want to thank you, our very special guest, for joining us.
I was going to say, if you didn't like it, his name's Johnny Hauser.
That's right.
That's right. You can check him out at joshhurd.net, Malvern Manor IA, paranormal investigator, author, and filmmaker. Josh Hurd, thank you so much for being with us.
Guys, thank you so much. It was my pleasure. This is so much fun.
Yay! And for myself, I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Thank you for being here with us tonight. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.